It's my privilege to introduce Vinny, who's obviously part of the iMoot team and highly experienced, and I will say, as much as he'll hate this, an expert in the area of Moodle, for his presentation for us today. And we're really looking forward to learning a lot more things about event monitoring in Moodle. Over to you, Vinny.
Thanks, Wendy. Okay, so I'm going to, I just thought I'd have my webcam on to start off with, but I'm going to kill it now to just conserve bandwidth for those people that are on maybe slower connections. So hi and welcome. I hope you're all enjoying this year's iMoot. So this is the second of my presentations that I'm running this year. And this one's going to be a lot more interactive. The other session that I put on about gamification was more of a kind of idea generating session, just to kind of spark off a few things. This is going to involve a lot more kind of participation from you guys. So wherever you are, I hope you're awake, and I won't kind of pick on people directly and ask some questions, but there will be a few little tasks in the second half of the presentation. So I hope you're all able to join in and get involved. So we're going to have a look at event monitoring in Moodle. So the presentation will be in a number of parts, which I'll explain in a moment. This is me. If you've been hanging around the iMoot, you've probably seen me around. So I've been involved in the iMoot since 2012, where I was a presenter. And then from 2013 onwards, I've been doing all of the iMoot site setup and facilitating sessions and marketing for it and all of that kind of thing. And my other role is running the Malaysian company for Pukunui. My background is education, so 16 years as a chemistry teacher and school leader. And for the last 4 years, I've been directly involved in kind of Moodle implementations, working, as I said, for Pukunui. Okay, so as I said, this is more of a kind of traditional learning experience, this presentation. So a couple of learning intentions and success criteria based around this presentation. By the end of this presentation, hopefully on your sites, on your Moodle sites, you'll be able to set up event monitoring. So I'll take you through the steps needed to set this up on your site. And then in the second half of the presentation, we'll be discussing some use cases. So I hope you'll be able to come up with a few ideas how you can actually implement it in your institution. Okay, so setting up, we've got 3 steps that we need to go through to set up event monitoring. First of all, we have to enable it on the site, so you need to be site admin. You then need to create a rule or some rules, and then you or other users can then subscribe to those rules and get some nice notifications about stuff that's going on your Moodle site. So the place to go to in your site administration settings, so site administration and then reports and event monitoring rules. I had it on the slide. I didn't emphasize it. Event monitoring came in version 2.8. So if you're running an earlier version of Moodle, which I guess at this point you kind of shouldn't be, but if you are on a version earlier than 2.8, then you won't have this feature. So event monitoring rules is where you find it, and the first thing to do is enable it. If you've got nothing there set up already, there'll be the dialog, nothing to display. So the next thing to do is to create a new rule, which then people can subscribe to. So let me just try and zoom in on this a little bit so you can see. Same as anything in Moodle, name and description. There's a bunch of different areas that can be monitored on your Moodle site. And we're going to have a look at those different areas in a moment. Once you choose your particular area, so for my example here, I've chosen assignments, then you'll have a list of different events within that particular area that can then be subscribed to. So for this example, we've got a submission has been submitted. So this will create a notification when an assignment has been submitted on your Moodle site. So the description is there. Now if I scroll, you can set some thresholds, how often you want to receive the notifications. And then within the message, there's some placeholders that you can set. So all of this is customizable. That's not a particularly friendly message there that I've created, but you can edit that, add in extra information for the person receiving the message. So once you've filled in your basic settings, hit Save Changes. I'll just zoom out on this one. There we go. So the different placeholders that you can set for the notification messages. So a direct link to the location of the event, which is pretty handy. So when the email comes through, you or whoever subscribed to the notification will be able to just click on it and go straight to it. Link to the particular area monitored, name of the rule, description, and the name of the event. So you can have as many of those or as few as you want. So once you've saved your rule, the screen changes and displays a list of available rules. So the next part of it is subscribing to the rule. If I click back, it gives you a link on the event monitoring page. You can just click on there, and it will take you through to the list of rules that you're able to subscribe to, or unsubscribe even. So you just hit the cross if you want to unsubscribe to a rule that you're currently subscribed to. And then, as I said, it shows you the available rules below, if there's any new ones that you can subscribe to. Okay, let's take a little look at the areas that can be monitored. And you guys should be able to click on this link as well. So if I'm glad that I set that to open in glad that opened up in a new window, otherwise I would have just lost the BBB room now. So this takes me through to a Google Doc. So I can see lots of people on the same Google Docs. I know that you guys have clicked on that link. And there's 333 different events. Facts, actually, I haven't checked to see if there was any new events released for 3.1. So this list may have changed slightly. So as you can see, it breaks it down into the component, whether it's core, so these would be the areas, assignment, book chat, etc., etc. Education level. So that's built into event monitoring because all the event monitoring you can generate logs from. So you can filter those logs down for the different educational levels, whether it's teaching or participating, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, I'm going to come back to my slide. You can also access that list of events through your Moodle site. So it's under Site Administration, Reports, and Event List. Okay, so something worth pointing out. Anyone with the capability tool / monitor subscribe is able to subscribe to these. There's also capabilities for creating these events. So you could start to think about which particular users you might want to be able to have access to create these events to allow people to subscribe to, and also which users you want to allow to subscribe to these events. So I've already mentioned where that list is. Okay, I don't really need to read the rest of those notes to you. You can all read those. Yeah, I guess it's also worth pointing out that on your dashboard as well, under your preferences, you can choose whether you want these events that are being monitored to be as a pop-up or email, depending on whether you're logged into the site or not. Users can also access the events that they're monitoring. That's under their dashboard as well. Okay, so that was quite a short and sweet overview, how to set it up and how to get going with it on your site. Let's have a look at some use cases now then, what we can use event monitoring for. So hopefully this is going to start to fire off, if it hasn't already, a few ideas with you. So I've broken this down into roughly different roles that might find these events useful. Just a couple that I came up with for admin. You could receive notifications for if somebody else on the site has changed the role permissions. So that might be quite useful if you've got quite a large site with a number of different admins. That could be a handy notification to get if there's other admins that are changing capabilities. If somebody's deleted a course on your site, you might want to know about that as well as a Moodle administrator. As a teacher or a manager, it might be useful to know when somebody's submitted a quiz attempt or completed a course, or if a user within the course has been assigned, has been granted an assignment extension. Or if, there's probably quite a useful one, if somebody's added some comments in the comments block, because normally you don't get notification, and if you are using that comments block on the course, then students could put whatever they want in there and then it would be displayed until it's checked. So that might be a useful thing to get some kind of notification of. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a second and have a look at the chat. So Lynn has just asked, sort of like Ajax marking. Not really. because these are notifications that are sent to you and you subscribe to them. I'm assuming it's the Ajax marking block that you're talking about. So that's just a block that's added to the sites that you can easily very quickly go in and see what needs to be marking. But yeah, it would be a nice using notification. It would be a different method of getting that information to the teachers. But it would come through on notifications or emails. It wouldn't be displayed in a block on the side of the course. So this presentation was titled 7 Exciting Uses. So that's the first 6. So we've got one more if you're counting. Just one as a student that I had to think about. It could be useful for your students to get notified when new files or new activities or new content is uploaded to the course. So for a student, you could create an event that they can subscribe to. So you would have to make sure that you edit the student role to allow them to subscribe to events. And you'd also have to give them some instructions how to do that. But that could be a neat little way to engage your students in your Moodle course. I guess it depends on the kind of users that you're working with. There's no way at the moment to easily subscribe all of your students to those events. So you would have to give them instructions and rely on them to subscribe to it. Just having another little look in the chat. So Russell has said, notify tutor when users enrolled in the course. Yeah, great. That'd be a perfect example of use for event monitoring. If you've got some ideas, hold on to them just for 30 seconds because it's activity time. So you can tell that I come from a teacher background. We're going to have a snowball activity. You can use that list of events that I shared earlier, and the link is again on the slide there. So just on your own, and I'm going to kill the microphone while you do this, just on your own, spend about 30 seconds and try to come up with some ideas how you would use event monitoring, and think about the role that you would use it in as well, whether you'd use it student role, teacher role, or admin role. So keep those ideas, don't share them yet. All I want you to do is have a think on your own for about 30 seconds. Okay, so hopefully, I hope this is going to work. If not, we just sat in silence for 30 seconds for no reason. What I'd like you to do now is to, in the big blue button chat, if you click on the options tab, you'll be able to privately message somebody. Pick somebody. It'd be nice if it was somebody that you didn't know, just to kind of get people talking and networking. Say hi to them and send them a private message with your ideas. We'll spend probably about 30 seconds. Message somebody, say hi, swap some ideas, and see if you can generate some more ideas and some conversation. So I'll give you about 30 seconds to do that. Okay, so hopefully that worked. So hopefully people have found somebody to privately message with within our presentation area here, and start to generate some ideas. I've been messaging with a couple of people. Okay, so the last part of the snowball then is to bring all of those ideas together. So if you have generated some neat ideas, can I get you to pop them into the main chats now then, in the big blue button room? Maybe if you've got one or two really good concrete ideas that you can then go away and pop into your Moodle course, and we'll have a quick discussion. Okay, maybe I'll just give you guys another few more seconds, just to, if anybody else has got any ideas to throw in the chat, and then have a quick review of them. So 5 or 10 seconds more. Okay, so let's have a quick review of some of the comments in the chat. So Russell has said, trigger a series of actions as soon as a learner reads assignment feedback. Off the top of my head, I don't know whether that's this. Was that assignment feedback? Was that in the list of areas that has got an event for it? Scrolling down my big list. So we've got yeah, so there's feedback viewed is one of the events that can be monitored. So yeah, great suggestion there. Course completion by teachers from Teresa. Josh has got all sorts of different notifications. Lynn. Yeah, for enrollment. Notification for enrollment. There's some great suggestions here. So Sarah is talking about choice and Natalie's talking about choice as well. There's some great conversation going on. That's the thing when running something like this, it could fall flat, or it could really spark some great ideas. It's fantastic. Unenroll. So Russell's mentioning unenrollment. Let's just have a quick look to see if. So yeah, when users are unenrolled from a course, you can have a notification. That's an event that can be monitored. Okay, cool. What have we got? A question from Sarah. What's the difference between event monitoring option, notification options already found in some activity? Sarah, it just really extends it. So it just gives us many more options for types of things that can be monitored within your Moodle site. Okay, well, that's kind of brought me towards the end of this, but it's worth throwing in. Teresa had a question. Where was Teresa's question? Can we include the user in the notification text? As far as I know, you can't. So the only things that can be included, it's a direct link to the actual event. So whatever that particular event is, forum discussion, for example, or like talking about with assignments. Link to the actual module where that's happened. So the activity itself, name, description, and the name of the event that's being monitored. So at the moment, I don't think it can pick up the actual user that the event happened for or on. But that information is that's already being monitored in Moodle, and it forms all part of the Moodle logs. So in theory, I guess it should be possible. Okay, so another one from Teresa. If a student is enrolled, I'm guessing the link would go to the enrolled users page. I guess so. There's 330 of these. I haven't tested them all. But have a play. Set it up on your site. Pop in now and have a go with it. Okay, one other thing that I'm going to throw in, and this kind of links to my other presentation about gamification. There's a neat plugin. It's actually a plugin set called Experience Points by Frederick Massart. And it monitors, it picks up the event monitoring area of Moodle, and it starts to assign points to the users based on all these little triggers. So if you're interested in gamifying your Moodle courses, I think it's awesome, and I think it's got a lot of potential. And you can also use this particular plugin to start to restrict access to areas based on the user's number of experience points or level that they are within this particular plugin. So it's quite a powerful thing, and I thought I'd just throw that in there because it does link in nicely with what we've been talking about today. Thank you, Russell. I'm presuming that's a direct link for the experience points plugin set. Thank you. Okay, so that kind of brings me to the end of today's presentation. So at the start, there was a couple of my learning outcomes and things that I wanted to achieve, and I think I can quite happily say that I've achieved that, and that you're able to set up, you know how to set up event monitoring, and we had some great discussion about how you can use it in your institutions. If you've got more ideas, please fire them into the forum, which is attached to this presentation. So pop into the Moodle course, and if you've got some more ideas, that'd be great. We can carry on the discussions there. Link to the Moodle Docs page for further reading. So thank you very much. If you've got any more questions, please just pop them into the chat. And you can, there's my details if anybody wants to find me at different places on the internet. So thanks very much, guys. I'll hang around for a little while if there's any more questions.
I'm just going to jump in and say thank you very much for your presentation. Really got everybody involved, which is great. So, and everybody, it's so many questions and things coming through. Don't forget, as Vinny said, you can contact him or just put things onto the forums, and you'll be able to chat with each other and continue. Thanks, Vinny, so much again.
You're very welcome, Wendy. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Lovely to see you all. I'm going to stop the recording now.